Hey friends, welcome to a new video of my career Q&A. So our today's topic is identifying your true needs. So without wasting more time, let's begin. So as you can see, if I scroll down, you can see a table, right? You can just pause the video wherever you want. You can just take a note of the table on any piece of paper, your diary, your mobile phone, and you have to just do a simple exercise, right? This video is a three-parter, and as we go down the video, I will tell you what are the remaining two parts. So, for now, let's begin with this table. The first option is skills for today's world. So, do you have an assumption of what is today's world might be? What are the things that you might need for your career to be successful? So you just have to write the skills which you have currently, whatever you think. Maybe you are a good speaker, maybe you are a great football player. So whatsoever it is, you just have to write it down as many points in this section, right? The second is the coach mentorship, a helping hand. So I just want to ask you, do you have any coach or a mentor to help you for any suggestions regarding your career? Suppose you are in school and you need to get some advice on a subject or an advice on your future prospects. Like suppose you are in class 10 and you are deciding whether you will take science stream or commerce stream. So do you have someone who can really help you, or your one of your parents or both of your parents or your friends or relatives help you? So do they know what actually you want? So you just have to figure it out and you just have to fill it out in this space. If you have a coach or a mentor, a professional one, or do you usually take the help of your parents, your friends, or your relatives, right? The third is real-time feedback on all your areas of life. So you make a small decision or a huge decision. Maybe it's related to your career or maybe your personal choice. So do you get a real-time feedback? Suppose, what I mean to say is that suppose you take a decision after class 10, if you're a school going student, that you want to study commerce after class 10. So do you know what will happen immediately when you join commerce, or what are your future prospects when you study commerce? So do you have a real time feedback? Do you have a immediate response to your thinking that no, I have, if I choose this, maybe I'll get there, may not be I'll get there. So what are the feedbacks that you get and from where? The fourth one is the frameworks and the advice for new situations. As you know that this world is changing every day, right? For example, 10 years down the line, we didn't have even touchscreen mobile phones, and if we do, it was very, very, very expensive. Now you get a touchscreen phone for just 3,000 bucks, right? So the time is changing very fast, and so as the situations. So you just have to figure it out that your current decisions and the career choices that you're gonna make align with the future situations. It aligns properly with your career. So do you have someone to advise you on the new situations or how to create that extra boundary for your career, right? You just have to, or what are the advice that you received for your new situations or your new career choices or whatsoever? You just have to write it down here. Next is the credentials. Do you have any quality that makes you stand out? Anything which you think is out of the crowd. Maybe you paint very well, maybe you write poetry very well, or maybe you sing very well, or maybe you do your maths problem very well, right? Anything. So do you have that credentials, special credentials? How to figure out if you have those credentials, and if you have one, is it is it the one that will make you stand out of the crowd, right? You have to write it here. Next is the other experiences, the future prospects and necessities of your current school and college subjects. Suppose you are an engineering student and you are a mechanical engineering student. So the things or the subjects that you're studying now, suppose you are suppose you are learning about fluid mechanics, suppose you are learning about dynamics of machines. So what are the actual practical uses of those subjects after 5 years down the line? You have to keep that in mind, right? And what are the experiences of your self, and suppose your senior who is in the same college, or suppose one of your brothers who have just passed out, did did you ever talk to them about the prospects of your current subjects into your future? Right, you just have to write it down in this column. Next is the personalized instructions. you know because as you know, one size never fits all, because as human beings we all are different. If I like the color green, you may not like the color green, you may like blue. Suppose you like the color blue, one of your friend may like the color light blue. So blue and light blue may be the same color, but they're different in spectrum, right? So whatever are the career choices that you're going to make, if you're in class 10th, 12th, or you're pursuing graduation, or you're working, it doesn't matter. Do you have personalized answers for, or personalized solutions for your questions or your needs? Do you? So you just have to write it down here. The next is physical and virtual learning spaces and tools. Do you have the updated softwares? Do you know the websites where you can learn things for free? You know, are you so- you know are you are you a subscribed member of some learning app, right? So if you are, just write it down here in this section. And last but not the least, the differentiation. A clear understanding of yourself. What makes you different from others? What is that different factor that makes you you? Whatever just comes to your mind, you can just write it here, right? And this makes the end of the table. Now what you have to do is you just have to take a break, just hardly 1 or 2 minutes break, and just introspect yourself on this table, that what you wrote and what are the things that you're missing out. And after you get finished here, I'm just scrolling down, and I'm going to give you a simple theory between needs and wants. I know it's very boring, but hey, these are the things which are never being taught in school, right? And it's not a philosophy class, I'm just teaching you the facts you should know. So I just made 7 points to differentiate needs and wants. Do you know what is a need and what is a want, right? So I'm not going to read all these things to you. You can just pause it here and you can just see the necessities. I'm just going to read the differences, only the definition differences between need and want. Need refers to an individual's basic requirement that must be fulfilled in order to survive. Needs is a basic requirement. An example is you have to eat food. Without food, you'll not survive, you'll die, right? Now, wants are described as the goods and services which an individual like to have as a part of his caprices. That means, what is a want? A want is also, suppose you have a bike and your father gets you a bike. That is a want. Even if you don't have the bike, you will not die of hunger, right? You will not die of scarcity, right? So a bike becomes a want, and the food becomes your need. Right? I hope you got the message what I want to say, the difference between needs and wants. You can just pause the video here and you can just, go through it. This is the second part. And now just think about yourself, that what are the things in your daily life that are your needs, and what are the things in your life that are your wants. Do you have needs in your life more, or do you have number of wants in your life more? What is the quantity in needs and what is the quantity in wants? If the quantity in needs is greater than the quantity of in wants, then you are living a good life. If it's equal, still better. But if your wants, the list of wants or the quantities in wants are far more great than the quantities in needs, then I think you need to rethink about your life decisions, right? And then the third parter, I'll scroll down. After introspecting all these things, you have to just answer these 5 questions very truthfully to you. You cannot lie here, because hey, you can cheat everyone but not yourself. So I'm just going to read these questions one by one, and then you have to answer it. Don't answer it in your mind, because thought is very temporary as a beautiful scenery. So the first question is, do I have as many choices as sorry. So I just made some minute change. Sorry for that. So the first question is, do I have as many chances as I may need to make a career of my own choice? If yes, how many chances exactly you have to write in numbers? If no, then what are your alternatives? You have to write sentences. The second is, do I get feedbacks or judgments from the people I trust the most, your friends or family, every time I share my opinion about my own career? Suppose you share that you want to be a writer, you want to be a dancer in front of your mom or in front of your very close friend. Every time do you get special judgments? No, you cannot do this, or maybe it's not right for you, or maybe you not earn that much of money you know in the future. Do you get all these answers very often? The third is, what are my ideas, learning strategies, creative spaces and tools to work upon my precious career? And the most importantly, do I have an audience to reflect my thoughts upon? This question means that, do you have the necessary thinking, the strategies, the planning and everything to make your career exactly the way you wanted it to be, the exact shape that you want to give to your career? Do you have that? And also, whenever you share that vision in front of someone, you have that obliging audience in front of you who really appreciates what you're thinking, right? You have to answer that. Then the fourth is, are my ideas about money and income really my own, or based on the expectations of others or on people I compare myself with? You know, suppose you have an idea of saving money, or you have an idea of spending money too much. So, is that idea, just think from your heart, are those ideas of whatsoever your ideas about money, are those ideas coming from you, or those ideas are coming from your parents or your friends? That you have to save money, or no, you have to spend money, and you're just following them blindly without introspecting yourself, right? And the last question is, do my beliefs about money and security enhance my enjoyment of life or limit? Right? The fifth question implies that, does your belief about money, like saving money or spending money, interferes with your mood, interferes with your, life, or the enjoyment that you are living your life with? Does it interferes or, contracts to whatsoever belief you have, right? You just have to write these things down, and you just have to introspect yourself. I'm just moving up. And after you fill this form, the three parts, identifying your true needs, reading these needs versus wants, and then these questions which you'll answer from the bottom of your heart, you will get to know that where you stand. You'll understand your true needs. What are the needs that you already have, and what are the needs which you don't have and you have to acquire? And to acquire those new needs, you have to leave some of your wants, because कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है, right? So I hope you got my idea of sharing this video with you. It's a very special video for me, because when I got taught about my needs, my eyes opened very wide, and I was shocked to my core. So I conclude my video, and happy finding your needs. So, are you craving for more videos like this? Subscribe now to my channels at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also follow my site at www.mycareerqna.com. So, until next time, take care. See you soon.